Good evening, gentlemen. It's September the 3rd. It's Saturday night. It's about 10 o'clock UK time. The weather's got a bit sort of autumn feel and all that, but never mind. Never mind. We are together, and that's all that matters, okay? I'll just say hello to everyone. Martin Ryder, I'm first. Nice to hear from you, Martin. Shiata Hairy Muff, hello. Alistair Taylor, nice to hear from you. Paul Paul Hoskin. Oh, okay. Yeah, Paul Hoskin, nice to have you. Capo 17. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. Yeah, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out. I've got Gaz and Paul Hoskin next to me. Which one do I let enter me first? I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a lot of well, it sounds like a lot of the things that I wouldn't want to watch on an adult channel, to be honest with you. Okay, Paul Hoskin, nice to hear from you. Let's see. Wayne M. I was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay. Wayne M. I was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Got the notification, no contest. Good evening, Eddie and chatters. Good evening to you, Wayne. Nice to hear from you. Okay. Paul Hoskin, I'm watching The Equalizer 2. Well, the last comment that I heard is that my 20 stone wife is going to equalise the pair of you and Gaz. The big question is, Alistair Taylor, the big question is much better. Okay, just say that tonight we do the big question on Mondays and Tuesdays. Yes, tonight we've got a few, sort of big-ish questions and a few smaller questions. Also, a couple of film reviews, but it's mainly more of a free-for-all tonight. It's whatever you want to talk about. But there's a few things that we can talk about, and yeah, absolutely. But thanks for that comment. Anyway, Alistair. Neil Fleet, nice to hear from you, mate. Tony Edwards, Clive, Mick M, Popcorn. Popcorn. Good evening, Ed. Here's to another great show and lots of chat. Okay, thanks for that, mate. Anyway, happiest Larry, Martin Ryder. 15 days. I'll be nuts deep in Bangkok. 15 days. So that is about the 18th, isn't it? So good for you, mate. Good for you. I mean, I'm heading out to Bangkok in a couple of months. Some of them are heading out next month. You're heading out this month. It seems to be the place to go right now. Niall M, Bernard Purcell, El Terrific You. El Terrific, nice to have it. The LSD music means it's time for Steady Eddie. Okay. Leeds, Cats and Good Coffee. Darren Drew, nice to hear from you, mate. Sober Cow, I've managed to catch you live for once, thank you. Sean Young, Lee James, Sober Cow. Normally I listen to the uploads later though. Keep your Bart earning potential up. Oh Jesus. Oh God. We can't really talk about the currency because you never know what's going to happen. Really, you can't really talk facts because it's just all speculation. But I don't know. The pound's not looking very healthy right now, is it? It's not looking very healthy. Kipax, nice to hear from you. Sean Griffiths, Matthew Cartwright. Paul Hoskin, has anyone ever used a Glorio? Oh my God. Is my 20 stone wife telling you to do that, is she? Is she putting you up to that? Lee James. Oh, Lee James. Eddie, have you smashed the security tab off the rum yet? What I've done is everyone had a different idea. Somebody said that you can get it off, but it might make a noise, like as in an alarm and whatever. But I held fast anyway. I had another delivery from Asda last night and I got a bottle of rum. Yeah, and of course I checked this time, my bottle of rum and whiskey that the security tab was off them. But it was, before the lady went, I said to her, right, there's just one more thing, okay? This was delivered last week. And she managed to take it out to the van and, as the delivery van, and she got it off because, so also I've got 2 bottles of rum now and a bottle of whiskey. So thanks for asking anyway. Yogi Bear, nice to hear from you, mate. Let's see. Mark Ollig, nice to hear from you, Mark. Okay, good evening. Nice to hear from you, mate. Sean Griffiths. Sean Griffiths, the big question: can the UK cope with the price rises? I mean, that is a very interesting. I think we'll do that, but we need to really we really need to understand. I don't know. I can't take everything in now. I'm hearing that energy prices are going to rocket up. I'm hearing that the price is going up. But personally, I'm living quite. I'm living, quite sensibly right now. I'm not buying anything exorbitant or anything. I'm only really buying food from Asda and the co-op, to be honest with you. And I'm looking forward to just getting on an airplane in a couple of months. So the big question: of the UK cope with price rises? We'll certainly talk about that sometime. I don't think it's right now. I mean, but we will talk about that. Dickie Bay travels a lot. Even Eddie in Augustioli, capital of Kefalonia, just got back to the apartment after the great day out. Bollocks now, looking forward to Thailand on Christmas Day. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Kefalonia is in Greece, of course. Dickie B, there's a lot of traveling. And for a month like September, that part of the world has the most fantastic climate. It has such blue skies and lovely warm. Oh, my God. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Michael Jennings, nice to hear from you, mate. Lee James, nice to hear from you. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Oh, well, let's get this nasty ordeal out of the way with. Guess who's there? She's here early. She's managed to get here early today. It's the one, the only, the troller from Gambia. It's the legendary super duper Lisa Dale. Lisa Dale, do your family know what you get up to when you go to a third world country? What do they say? They must be ashamed. They must be ashamed. They probably who cares? Who bloody cares? You think anyone cares about what? And do you know what I get up to? I don't know what you. I'm going to show a picture of Lisa Dale here. I'm going to show a picture of Lisa Dale just so that we all know what Lisa gets up to. We've seen it before, but it's worth seeing again. There you go. This is what Lisa gets up to. This is what Lisa gets up to when she's on it. Just looking at the dirty old trollop. Oh my God, she's he's looking at her thinking, oh, meal ticket, passport, start my own business, and whatever. And she's thinking, oh my God, I wonder is it true? Like, oh, it's true, isn't it? They really do have big frankfurters. Oh God. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Lisa. Nice to hear. I'll tell you what, Lisa's going to be gutted, isn't she? If it's true about what they say about the Wonkers in Gambia, they're not going to be welcome anymore. I mean, where will Lisa go? I mean, there's probably other places I'm sure she'll go, but I don't think there's anywhere on the League of Gambia, really. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Lisa. Nice to hear from you, okay? Okay, let's see. Martin Ryder, I'm flying out on the 17th. Well, Lisa's got something to say about that, Martin. She thinks we're all bloody perverts. Okay. Dickie Bay, 2 hours in front here. So 2 hours. Oh, so it must be midnight in Greece, yes? Oh, let me see. Okay. Kipax, Thailand isn't a third world country. That same as developing, isn't it, really? Supercow, the pound is shite against the baht right now. You'll be lucky to have enough to soapy massage it. The pound, it's been worse. I think it's about 40 to a pound at this one, but we don't know how it's going to develop. Martin Ryder's going to Thailand this month. A few people are going next month. I'm going in November. We just don't know. We just do not know. We can just hope for the best. I mean, let's hope that the pound doesn't go the bloody same way as the Turkish lira. Oh, Mark Oleg, glory holes are so 1970s. I must be dull personally. Well, I probably am dull, but I'm not into all that kind of stuff. Not for me. Travis DeVoe, Lisa in the house. Lisa's in the house. Are you in Gambia? Of course she is. She's getting as much sausage in as she can before it's not allowed anymore. Hey, Gene, nice to hear from you. Paul Hoskin. They've got a proposition there. Paul Hoskin, Lisa, forget the Gambian men. Pick me up. Okay, there you go. You got a fan there, Lisa. Andrew Hammond, evening, Eddie. Looking forward to your opinions on the big question. Like I said, the main big question that we do, it's mainly Monday and Tuesday nights, and it's gone down well the last few weeks. Tonight we've got a couple of questions. That we can comment on. Also, a couple of film reviews later, a couple of good movies that I've watched on Netflix and Amazon recently, which I really do want to recommend to you if you haven't seen them. But nice to hear from you, mate. Gemini Star, nice to hear from you. Martin Ryder, Gambian bockwurst with the chef special sauce. So I'm sure Lisa's had plenty of them up here. Michael Janaeus, I had a mate, he spent 7 nights in Patong, Phuket. Give it a miss. Most things still closed and Gale's very expensive. Not a very good place to go at the moment. This guy's been going there a long time. You see, you still hear different things about Phuket. I mean, David R., who was on the other channel the other night, he's got a good deal in for the hotel in Phuket. And but the reason that I didn't go there early this year is simply because I've been to the total of 4 islands, and I love tropical islands, but I've been to a total of 4 during my recent travels, and that's why I didn't really see the point of it. So point of going to a 5th one. So I can't see myself going to Phuket really. Kipax, yeah, I got 37 baht back in 2019. So 43 isn't too bad. Yeah, right. Yogi Bear, did you say the movie Chaos with Jason Statham was a good movie? I can't actually remember that title. I mean, there's been quite a lot of. I might have seen that one. I don't actually remember the title of that particular movie, to be honest with you. But he has been a lot of good movies. Lewis C. Before Brexit was 52, now 42. Yeah, okay. Kipax, only buying alcohol, Eddie. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, yes, I mentioned, didn't I? Didn't I mention, they asked the delivery, they managed to take the, last week's disaster with the bottle of rum. They managed to take the security tab. What they didn't do, I ordered 2 cases of Coors Light because recently, I mean, I've been drinking the Coors Light, which is lower in calories than the the other stuff that I drink, the stuff like Kronenberg and stuff like that. And the calories, it does all add up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm losing mega amounts of weight, but there's something happening. Let's just say there's something happening. But the 2 cases of Coors Light, that's the one thing they didn't have. So I ended up, going up to the co-op and getting them from there. So you just love Asda. Let's see, who's this? Barry from EastEnders, going California soon, but apparently proteins are illegal in the UK. I think Las Vegas is a pretty good place for that. There is another YouTuber. He's quite a big YouTuber. He's been up in court and he's going to be sentenced in a couple of weeks. I wonder if anyone knows what I'm talking about. He had lots of donations to help him with his legal fees and all this kind of stuff. And I think people are getting suspicious. What did he spend all those donations on? All those hundreds of thousands of pounds that people sent him, to help sue the BBC and all this kind of stuff. Well, he kept going on about Las Vegas hookers. So I think everyone's kind of said, well, I don't want to talk about that because that's an ongoing case, that is. But some of you will know what I'm talking about. He's up in court in a couple of weeks' time. Well, he's been up in court. He's been found guilty of stalking. He's up in court in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Cats and Good Coffee. Lisa was in a crappy internet cafe of Gambia using a sticky heartbroken old PC just to troll Eddie's live stream. Sounds about right, mate. Bottle Baby. Laptop has finished rebooting now, so I'm So I'm here now. Okay, okay. Martin Ryder, Thailand is not third world. No, I wouldn't call it third world anymore. Clive, I've just got two very bright cycle lights. I charged them at work with our Lecky is capped at 14 pence a kilowatt and used them at home. They're as bright as normal light. Okay, good for you then anyway. You thought, Eddie, any chance of it up the Ra? Come on, Bangkok Salt. Okay, up the Ra. I assume, was that a football team? Paul Hoskin, it might be a good idea to buy dollars now before you go to Thailand, unless you're American. Well, we don't know which way it's going to go, do we? I mean, the pound might have gone as weak as it's going to go, or it may go weaker. We just don't know. We don't know. I know some people bet on exchange rates, but that's not my thing, really. Matthew Cartwright, so I love a go on Lisa, hold my beer. Okay, okay. Let's see now. Mark Ace looking good, Eddie. Young and fit. The Thai ladies will be paying you 666. Can't wait. Lisa Dale's Gambia. Lisa is actually quite a sensitive soul. You give her a hard time, and so do I. Like it. What's Nick Ross saying? Okay, thank you for that. Soy Macau, there's a much better rate for the Philippine peso, but the country is still in full anti-this nonsense modern. Oh no, don't want any of that. I'm going to give that one a miss. Let's see. Let me see now. Mark Oleg, Eddie, I needed to look at what glorios are. I never used it in the 70s much. What's that all about? You put your manly bit through a hole and Jesus, some people. I wouldn't. Lewis C, the main cost of living rises energy. So if you turn your heating off for 4 months, while in Thailand you're quids in. I think that's the idea. That's the idea of going abroad for the winter. Andrew Hammond, I only go to Thailand for the delicious food and the scenery. Yeah, good for you, mate. Good for you. Dave lets YouTube. Female tourism on pleasure beaches. Great YouTube video about the French wongers in the Dominican Republic. Well, I'm sure they are. The one place, I've never seen, I know some people say that it does exist, but I've never really seen evidence of the wongers in Thailand. Maybe the Thai, either they're not interested in the Thai fellas or the Thai fellas are not interested in them, really. Kip Axter's Lisa. Oh, you just made me sick. Bloody sick at the thought of that. Sean Griffiths, 1,440 return flights to Pattaya from London. Return flights to Pattaya from London in November. I'm assuming you're going to Bangkok, that is. In November, too expensive. 1,440 return flights in November. So it sounds expensive. I'll just reiterate what I said, last week. The flight that I'm going to Thailand with, very good airline. It's a return ticket from November to March, 4 months. And I got it for quite a reasonable price, more expensive than what I would normally pay for it, but not that much more. But I checked it last week, and the same flight is about 70 quid cheaper than what I paid for it. So there are still some good deals around. Mark Oleg, Eddie, I needed to look up Glorios. I never had much of a need to find them in the 70s, as I had lots of girls offering me the set. Yeah, good. Well, good. You were a young man. I was a young man once as well. Jesus, they were the days. Shano Traveller, Sunday morning ale, lads. Okay, thank you. Stuart Lennox. This is a controversial. People don't like it when this gets mentioned. Was not 52 for many years before Brexit was 37. Was not 52 for many. I'm not. No, sorry, I'm not with you there, mate. Steady Eddie, have you seen the movie Knives Out? No, I haven't. I've heard of that. Knives Out. What was that? I just watched it. It was interesting, and it was interesting, original and funny. Knives is a guess. Is that the movie? The sort of Agatha Christie sort of movie, and Daniel Craig's in it. Is that the one? I think it's that one. Let's see. Kippo Macmax flying October the 6th. Bangkok, Surin, and Borayam. I don't fancy drowning in the sausage fest, Pattaya. No, I don't think it will be. I don't think it'll be a sausage fest. I don't. Do you really think so? Do you really think so? I don't think it will be. I think it will be. You know, this is okay. We've moved on from the pandemic now. I think pretty soon, pretty soon. You know, the girls in the villages will think, okay, the tourists are going to come back, so I'm going back. No, I think there'll be plenty of women around this year. Let me see. Alpha Interactions. Eddie, my dad passed away 2 weeks ago, age 50. Oh, God. So I was his carer for 2 years of his elders. Well, I'm very, very sorry to hear that. I put out my first vlog on my channel yesterday in over 1 year. Planning for Pattaya in November. Oh, well, good luck to you, mate, anyway. And, sorry to hear about your dad, anyway. Who's this? Daniel Mills, ginger-haired guy. This is who was mentioned. Who's that? Andrew Hammond, Alex Belfield, or Belland. Yeah, he's got up to about 370,000. And I used to really, really like the guy. I really, really liked the guy because during the lockdown, he was doing something no one else was doing. He was doing a phone in, a live phone in, and he was really, really good. And he was very, very irreverent and very, very quick-witted. And he was all for free speech, which is wonderful, absolutely. But he was collecting the money from people. 1 minute he was saying, yeah, I'd never beg for money. The next, like he's saying, send us lots of money because we're going to sue the BBC. And basically, I don't want to talk. It's all there on the internet. It's Alex Belfield anyway. But I think he's fallen from grace somehow. Let's see, Alan McManus. Eddie, when you were going to town next week, you make a video getting the bus from Bangkok Airport to Pattaya. There's plenty of videos, but none specific on what stop you get on. I'm sure I've done well. There are people who've done that, but do you know something, mate? Do you know something, Alan? When you've done that long journey, and I'm sure that I've included that in one of my videos somewhere. Sure, I have. But when you've done that long journey, you just want to bloody get in your hotel, mate, and crash out. But a good suggestion anyway. Mark Alec, Lost Vegas and Lost Wages. Yeah, this guy, Alex Belfield, I mean, I don't want to talk too much because loads of other people are talking about him back here. But he was... 1 minute he was saying we need lots of money, thousands of pounds to pay, barristers to sue the BBC and all this. And what he didn't really make it clear that it was actually him who was being taken to court, charged with stalking. And basically, he collected an awful lot of money from people who he convinced should send him money. And then the next thing his house starts looking more elaborate, and then the next thing he's flying, first class to Las Vegas, and he's bragging about all the hookies that he's having. Oh my, yeah, very, very suspicious. Martin Ryder booked a £4 a night guest house on a floating raft on the River Kwai. Mongering on a shooting, 500 bars. Jesus, that sounds good. £4 a night guest house on a floating raft on the River Kwai. Sounds very adventurous. leaving England. Bellend. I think he's talking about that. That was apparently Alex's nickname at the BBC. Alex Bellend. Kipex, my flight is being cancelled by Finnair again. Third time. I really. Hopefully, often. Oh my God, Kipex. I wish you the best. I've heard mixed reviews about Finnair. Some people swear by it, and some people say avoid it like the plague. Oh well, I'm best of luck to him. That sounds really frustrating. All I was going to say is that the airline that I'm going with from London to Bangkok, it's a direct flight. They're a good, solid, reliable airline, and I don't hear any bad things about them. Okay. Gemini Star. I'm on Captain Morgan rum and coke with ice. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Mark 8, looking fit for Thailand, Eddie. Soy 6 waiting for you. Yeah, I'll be paying that place a visit. Wayne, Google snake venom 67. I think that'll be too much for me there. Let me see. Martin Ryder. Pound will rise this week when trust gets into. I think that's what it is. The markets don't like uncertainty, do they? And when there's a bit of uncertainness in the air, you know, the markets like to know where they are. So, Martin, you could well be right there. I hope you are. Lee James, Ed, have you been on the weight? You're looking fit. Well, I don't feel very, very fit. I used to do really well at the weight years ago, but you know, when you get to a certain age, you kind of worry about, you know, you worry about your bones and I had a problem with my shoulder there recently, so no, but thanks anyway. Let's see, Mark Ollick. I did some gambling there years ago. Saw the shows in Las Vegas. I'd like to visit Las Vegas. I'm not a gambler, but I would like to see it. You know, I just like to see it. Bottle Baby, don't understand that stocking guy in his stick. Bottle Baby, don't understand that stocking. I'm not sure who you're talking about, mate. Not sure who you're talking about there, mate. Let's see. Kipax. Alan, Ekamai bus station is about 8 stops from Asok or Nana. It's only £2 to Pattaya. Yeah, if you're in Bangkok, if you're in Bangkok, but I think the guy who asked the question, he asked about the airport, arriving at the airport. Mark Alec. Eddie, there's not much glory in those old men. No, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't put my bloody, you know, my sausage, my thing through there. No thanks, mate. Okay, Eugene Vincent. I've been watching some Sammy Davis Jr. interviews recently. What a talented and charismatic man. Of course he was. He could really shoot the breathe. Would have been a great guest on Late Night with Steady Eddie. I think it is a bit late to be interviewing Sammy Davis Jr. But yeah, he was a talented guy, wasn't he? AJ, Eddie, UK is finished. Better to live here for 6 months tops and 6 months away. Well, that's more or less what I'm doing these days. In the last 12 months, I've been away for 7 months. I spent 2 months in Greece and Turkey, then 4 months in Thailand, and a month recently in Romania. So I do all right. Lewis C. Find out about which way the pound goes on Tuesday. If trust doesn't have small businesses, we're all in trouble. But I think like what Martin Ryder said, basically the markets don't like uncertainty. So we may see, I'm not saying we will, but we may see a rise in the pound, Bottle Baby, at least it will be a hard target to miss. Okay. Martin Ryder, either 533 quid. Watch and learn from the master. Either is that's a return. That sounds bloody good. Good airline there. Shane Hotel, the next week I landed for Thailand and paid double the price for the airfare. That's very, very unfortunate, really. Eason man, snake venom is just beer with ethanol added. Oh, nice to hear from you, Eason man. Okay. Who's this? Bottle Baby found that Everrated has dropped their prices, so now it's cheaper than what I pay in May, just before the price my ticket. So, yeah, okay. Another comment there. Dickie B, okay. Dickie B, if those flights with Everrated, you know why they've gone down a bit. Yeah, well, yeah. I know what you're talking about there, Dickie. I don't really. We don't want to talk about all that because that's too depressing a subject, really. But I know exactly what you mean, mate. I know exactly what you mean. Let's see, Lee James. What are you most looking forward to on your trip this time, Eddie? On my trip what I'm most looking forward to is Cambodia. I'm most looking forward to that because I haven't been there for about 4 years. I used to know that country very, very well. I've been all around Cambodia. Things have changed, and then we had the pandemic, and whatever. It was a great place, but it would be nice to see Cambodia again. It would be nice to see. I like Siem Reap. I love Phnom Penh. I used to like Chinookville before it went down the Swanee River, but apparently there's a few other places that have sprung up. Those islands, they were very, very unspoiled the last time I seen them, but those islands are beautiful. And, I'm looking forward to Cambodia. I did 4 months in Thailand early this year, and I think I've seen all about, that I want to see for the moment. That's the answer to that question. What are you most looking forward to on your trip? I'm looking forward to Cambodia. Can't wait. Eason, man, it wasn't Brexit that dragged the pound down. It was the Remainers trying to stop it for 4.5 years. Markets don't like uncertainty. Well, they certainly don't like uncertainty. S Travels 4K. Yes, Thailand will be a sausage fest and prices will be unusual higher. Well, I don't know. We don't really know. Things are changing all the time, and we've just come out of a really difficult couple of years, dreadful couple of years. So you never know. Anything can happen. Let's just hope for the best. Lewis C. Wouldn't trust a Thai glory hole. As it could be a lazy boy at the other end. Yeah, you're dead right there. All right. There's another YouTuber who wouldn't care about that. This guy who, we all thought he was a great guy, and I'm probably is a great guy. Not saying that he's not for that reason, but then he ended up doing a video, and he ended up with a lady boy. It was, it was kind of like this. Oh my darling. Well, I don't want to do too much of that. It's too vulgar. Too vulgar. No, we don't want to talk about ladyboys. Kipax. Let's see, Kipax. Yeah, can't travel direct from Manchester. It's a pain. Okay, can't travel direct from Manchester. It's a pain. I mean, if you're in Manchester, how do you get to Heathrow? Could you not get how could you get to say Heathrow from Manchester? Could you not get a train within? Could you not, if you've gone by train, or could you not get a National Express coach from Manchester to Heathrow in maybe 5 hours? It's doable. It's doable. Where I live, I get a National Express coach, and it usually takes about 4 hours or so, maybe 4.5 hours tops, really. And I can get to Heathrow. I did nothing of it. That's a doddle. I just get on the bus, sooner or later I'll get my head down. I'm at Heathrow. Bob's your uncle. There you go. Gemini Star. Kipax, get a National Express coach down to Heathrow. There you go. That's what you do. I get a National Express coach. Not a problem. Reliable. More reliable than trains. Yeah, I agree. Daniel Mills, he could be innocent, BBC. If you talk about Belfield, he's been found guilty of 40. He has been found guilty. Exonerated of some, but found guilty of others, and he will be sentenced in a couple of weeks. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, Alfred Interaction. My dad was a huge fan of your channel, Eddie, before he passed away. Your vlogs kept his spirits out. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for that. I really appreciate that. He was, he was so young, wasn't he? I mean, really, you just got to live your life, haven't you, mate? You've got to live your life. But thanks for that anyway, and thanks for looking after them. And well, I wish you the best in the future anyway. He's a simpleton. He ended up representing himself in court. So, yeah, he had all that money. Plus, he must have earned a fortune from all his views on YouTube. And this is what people are saying. This is what people are saying. He's saying, I need lots of money, and to help me when I'm in court and all this. And then he ends up representing himself. So, what happened to all that money? This is what people want to know. Super Stephen, hi Eddie. I'm going to Pattaya a few days' time. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, Mark Ollig. I understand 58 is too young. My dad was 51. Hope you have family to draw strength and support from. God bless you. Yeah, very, very true. You've got to live your life, mate. 58, 51. Well, they're younger than I am, so you just got to live your life, haven't you? Martin Ryder, I used to watch the Alex Belfield Voice of Reason. Never saw you in the chat. I never commented in the chat. I used to watch him all the time. I never commented in his chat. I just didn't, because he didn't answer. He didn't answer any of the chats anyway. I think I saw your name in the chat, but I just didn't comment. But I did enjoy. I did enjoy watching him. But like a lot of people, I want to know where all that money went to. Simpleton. He said he had a card which got him free first class flights with BA. Sure. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to... let's see. Seaside Mark Lovechild. Everton should won today. Gutted. Everton should have won. Well, you're gutted. Okay. Don't worry, mate. They won't care about you. You know what I mean? They won't care about you. I wouldn't worry about them. Let's see. Sweeney's little weenie. How's it hanging? It's hanging pretty well now. It's very it's hanging well. All the private parts are in good working order. Another bad review of Finnair. Monga Jerry. Finnair left me stranded during the pandemic. I was already in Thailand and they cancelled my return flight. No other options, nothing. A lot of people got stranded, mate. It wasn't just Finnair. A lot of people got stranded. I have a friend, an Italian friend, who was stranded out in the Philippines for about 6 months. And, a lot of people, I was lucky to get out of there, just in time. So, dreadful. Let's see. Cats and good coffee. Max says it was all. Oh, I remember Max said it was bloody good fun, though, wasn't it? That was good fun, Max said. It was just like, it's just a puppet sort of thing. And he used to interview celebrity. It was on late at night. He interviewed Jackie Collins once, didn't he? And he asked her to explain what her books are all about. And she said, well, in other like novels, the guys get all the girls. Well, in my novels, it's the other way around. I mean, and Max Edzu said, "Well, you mean the girls get all the girls? What are they all lesbians? Are they? Oh, lovely stuff, lovely stuff." Who's this? Seaside Mark Lovechild. Edward hates your Scousers because he moved to posh part. Well, yeah, I've got an indoor toilet where I live. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding, mate. Just kidding. Posh where I live. You're having a bloody laugh. You're having a bloody posh where I live. Yeah, we had a rainbow today. It was in black and white. Jesus Christ. Let me see. Book for let's see. Who's this? Michael Giannis. Book my flight for late December. Pattaya for the first time. Good for you, man. Late December. Well, obviously Christmas week anyway. That's probably that'll be a very, very busy week. And good for you, mate. That'll be a good for you. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. Good for you. Who's this? Kipax. I have 8 weeks, so hopefully they offer me something. Well, best of luck, mate. Best of luck. Sean Harris. I don't know if it still exists, but there was a great pole dancing bar called Crazy Horse 2 in North Las Vegas. Well, I've never been there, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't know, but it sounds good. Sounds like fun. Dickie B, Thai Air have at least 3 Boeing 777s to do the London-Bangkok route. They will be flying Dreamline, 50 more seats on the 777. So must be getting more bookings. Yeah, let's keep thinking positive, mate. Let's keep thinking positive. Michael Giannis. I love Bangkok, spending 10 days Bangkok and 7 days Pattaya. That sounds great. Sounds great, mate. I can't wait to get out there. Can't wait. Gary Hughes. No, thin air accidents, but have been badly hit by the Russian conflict. As they're so close now to reroute miles and miles to get around the area. Yeah, absolutely. Lisa Dale's Gambian lover. That photo you showed bring back happy memories of Lisa. I hope she's not banned from coming. She's due weeks after next. Okay. Good for you, mate. Good for you. I'm sure she'll be there for you. Well, let me see. Let me see now. Okay, we'll do a couple of questions in a minute. A couple of, we're not doing like the full frontal big question that we do on a Monday and Tuesday. But there's still a couple of things that are interesting that we just have to talk about. We have to talk about. Nick Ross, sad to say the pound will crash. That's very, and Gary Hughes says, in Liz we trust. Okay, so everyone's got an opinion. Seaside Mark Lovechild. Everything's funny. He reminds me of Grandad. He not asked. Okay, fine. Thanks for that. There you go, Stuart Lennox. Wait till next week. The pound will go up and Trust takes over a week or two. Okay. Let's see. Bottle Baby, Mr. Alex Belfield. I think he is a British culture because I just don't get his humour or facts. Or just plain hates everything British. I wouldn't say he hates everything British, but what I would say though, I liked him when he did Simplicity, when he did the phone in and he answered calls, and he was very, very good and they were entertaining. What turned me off him, what really, really I didn't like, was when he started doing silly impressions of Diane Abbott and he started bringing all kinds of toys, sexual sorts of toys and all of this kind of that all that got on me nerves. It got on me bloody nerves, that did. Nick Ross, Eddie, Cambodia, as you remember it, is not the same anymore. 136 and 104, 130 have been 130 have been decimated. I was watching a video the other day about some guy who was going down. Well, I know he went down 136, and he was pointing his camera at the girls, and he was getting very, very perturbed by it. So he shouldn't have been doing that. But well, it looks to me like there's plenty of life there. Looks plenty of life. Before the pandemic, so the last time I was in Phnom Penh, the girls there were complaining that it was too quiet. They were complaining it was too quiet there. But things go in waves. Things go in waves. They do. Who's this? Cy London, Kampot in Cambodia looks good. Certainly does. Certainly does. Seaside Mark loves it. I love go there. Me looking at your vids. I'm 24. loads of time, okay? Nick Ross, trust will be out in about 90 days. Well, on the general election. I don't think we need another general election. You know, this is it. You see, we've got so many problems, and I know Boris, you know, Coco the Clown wasn't perfect, but we've got so many things beyond this control. You know, so it's just like the Brexit, and then there was the pandemic, and now there's the Eastern European conflict. I think we've had so many general elections, and I don't see anyone, you know, better there. Well, none of the MPs anyway. Martin Ryder, Silent Kep is worth a look. Oh, I went to Kep. You know, I to two places I never got around to going for a long time in Cambodia were Kep and Kampot, and I chose the wrong one. I went to Kep. I thought it was very, very. I just thought it was very dull. But Kampot looks like the lively one these days. Nick Ross. Plus, the Queen is on her last legs. Youth change is going. Okay, so Nick Ross saying Liz Truss won't last very long, and the Queen's going to drop dead soon, and all that. Oh my God, almighty! Popcorn, Ed, do you think people power can get this useless government to listen to that? Enough is enough. Campaigners gathering momentum. Big meeting in Manchester last week. I didn't see what that big meeting was all about, but I thought it was funny. What is it? Extinction Rebellion? Is that what it is? Who broke into the House of Commons? I mean, there's no MPs there right now, but it was strange. They managed to break it, and they glued themselves to the Speaker's chair in the House of Commons and all that. I think it's all about climate change or something like that. I found it quite a boring subject, to be honest with you. But gluing their hands there with super glue and all that, I think the worst punishment to give them is bloody leave them there. Oh my God. Let me see. Bottle Baby, James Bond in Diamonds Are Forever, okay? Jill St. John, lovely. Cats and good coffee. A question from complete ignorance. Is not Cambodia like a poorer, more dangerous version of Thailand? It's it probably is poorer than Thailand, yes, but more dangerous. I wouldn't really say that. I think you do have to be a bit more careful in Cambodia than you do in Thailand. But even so, providing you behave yourself and you don't offend people and you don't do things you shouldn't do, you don't get involved in things you shouldn't get involved in, I think you'll be all right. I was going there for years and I never had any problems. Andrew Hammond, it will definitely be a sausage fest in Battaya Boys Town. Don't get too drunk and walk down the wrong side, okay? Let's see. Mark 8, Eddie, no good going down soy 6. No good for you. They're all clean shaven. I know. Well, the last time I went down there, last time I sampled the local cuisine of soy 6. Yeah, I just tend to be called something like that. But don't get me wrong, I do like hairy, but it depends on the girl. I mean, lovely birds there in soy 6. Let's see. Eugene Vincent, Thai Festival in London this weekend, Ed. Muay Thai and Ladyboy show. I don't really want to see either of those, to be honest with you. Thanks anyway. Seaside Mark Lovechild, Edward is Scouse and CD Legends. Okay, yeah. Mark Nick Ross, I never liked Belfield, an ex BBC man. He didn't like BBC. He got thrown out. Seaside Mark, hate that ginger posh pork prick Bell and Belfield. Okay. Nick Ross, don't waste money at football clubs or footballers. Look at Giggs, yuck, and Mendy, yuck. I mean, that Mendy, is he the one who's been, for numerous sexual offences and all that? You wouldn't have any sympathy for these footballers. I mean, They've obviously got football talent, but to become super millionaires because of their talent, and the next bloody thing, they're performing all kinds of sexual. Oh, I wouldn't have it. But throw them in prison and throw the key away. That's what I say. Mark Ollig, okay. Mark Ollig, Eddie, did you read about Reginald Alfred Varney, who in 1967 was the first person to withdraw money from an automated cash dispenser machine, ATM, in the amount of 10 quid at Barclays? But I did. I read Mark's column. Mark, there's a wonderful column, a weekly column, I think called Bits and Bytes. Am I right in saying that? And you can get it on Facebook. You can get he's there on Facebook. And it's always informative. There's some wonderful things. But Mark is from America. But apparently the first, well, like you say there, it was actually Reg Varney from On the Buses, who, it was probably like, publicity, was the first man to actually draw money from an ATM. So I learned something today. I learned Reg Varney and then he was driven home by Olive. But, I think you have to be British to understand that one. But yeah, thanks for that information anyway, Mark. Yeah, I learned something today. That's good. That's good to know. Cheers, mate. Who's that? Wayne M. Reg Varney on the book. Yeah, it's got a picture of him. Yeah, the same road. He was the first man to withdraw money from an ATM. So there you go. You learn something new. Nick Ross, stop giving money to football and football. Well, I wouldn't. Cats and Good Coffee, the British band in the 80s, Art of Noise, made a song and video about Max Headroom called The Paranoia. Mark Ollig, the ATM was located in the borough of Enfield in North London, England. I wonder if next time, can we get a picture of that? We get a picture of that. He was a very underrated actor. I mean, he was known for On the Buses. There was his character called Stan in On the Buses. But when he wasn't doing comedy, Reg Varney was a very, 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 very good dramatic actor. And I've seen him in a couple of plays, BBC plays, and he was so good, so good. Sean Harris, if you're over 60, you can buy a National Express Seniors card for $12.50 a year. It saves you a third on your coach ticket price. You only need to use it a couple of times to make it worth it. I didn't know that. So somebody told, I got my free prescription the other week. I'm 60 years old now. I got a couple of prescriptions from the chemist and I didn't have to pay for them because I'm over 60 now, which was nice. That was quite nice. And also, I don't know if somebody said that I'm entitled to a bus pass, but I wouldn't want to wait around for buses. But thanks for that info anyway, Sean. Cheers. SK4, so Ed, you still getting those beggars waiting for you around the corner from the cash machine. I don't use a cash machine in the town centre anymore. I don't, unless I'm actually I can do it inside the bank. If it's inside the bank, it's okay. But yeah, you get all those bloody losers hanging around, those deadbeats. Let me see now. Okay, let me see. We're gonna I'm gonna get through here. Martin, Thailand Bound is here. Nice to hear from you, Thailand Bound. Hope you're having a nice evening. Hope you're having a nice evening. Yeah, Liz Truss likes you. There you go. She likes you. Nick Ross, I've been in and around Asia since 1971. Worked in most of the places. Town is about to blow up any minute. With the four bold brothers fighting over control. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to skip through this. I'll tell you what. It is. Where is it? It's squeaky door time. Back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's have a look at the comments, and guess what I've got? An old favourite returns. An old favourite, nice and cold as well. Oh, lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly. Did I hear something about, you're not supposed to advertise alcohol and whatever. Don't tell on me, will you? Okay, not getting paid for it. Nice. Speckled Den. It was originally developed as a tribute to the MG motor cars. It was part of a function or whatever. Who's that? Cats and Good Coffee. Is that what it sounds like? Dracula's coffin door. Okay, I'll have to wear my vampire t-shirt one of these days. The one that I bought at Dracula's castle. Cats and Coffee. Eddie is. No, I'm not. I'm not getting paid for it. Not at all. What is it? Lisa Dale's Gambian lover. Fake Gambian sausage. Okay, I'm sure you're the real thing. Okay, so it's about an hour into this. Remember, Monday and Tuesday, that's just about exclusively the big question night, and that's becoming really, really good fun. I really appreciate everyone getting involved in all of that. So that's Monday and Tuesday night, but we still got a few questions here in there. Some people have suggested a few things, but I think it's worth paying a tribute right now. It's tribute time. We've got to pay a tribute to this old gentleman who passed away the other day. Okay, Mr. Mikhail Gorbachev. Okay, now he passed away the other day at the age of, I believe, was he 91? 91. He didn't look like the healthiest man, but he lived till 91 anyway. So now Gorbachev. Okay, now remember the 1980s. Russia was, it was, unless you'd actually been there, it was, and I hadn't traveled there. We all thought there was going to be a nuclear war in the 1980s. We just thought it was a matter of time, two tribes and, Frankie Goes to Hollywood and, Star Wars and, it was just, the 1980s was a time when he thought it's only a matter of time before we're all going to go boom. And that's it. That's going to be, it's going to be over. Okay. And then 86, I believe it was it 86? There was the Chernobyl, fallout. I mean, that was the joke, wasn't it? What you call a Russian with a hole in his underpants, Chernobyl fallout, okay? And then all of a sudden, it seemed that, Russia needs to come in from the cold. We need to work together. And then very soon, Gorbachev appeared, and he seemed like a nice man. And it's, so he seemed like a nice man. And all of a sudden, I think he was the first Russian leader that our generation looked at and thought, I like this guy. This guy's cool, okay. But what is the truth of the matter? What do you think? Let me see. This question here is, was Gorby a good man? Was he a good man? I mean, all of a sudden, he came in the cold and he was shaking hands with, Reagan and Thatcher. They thought this man's approachable in the way us other Russian leaders had not been approachable. And then within a few years, some wonderful things were happening, like the fall of the Berlin Wall. And, Gorby had a rough ride. He was a Communist Party, but he was trying to reform, the Soviet Union. But, it all kind of went pear-shaped. But the fact is, for him personally, but the fact is that, he was instrumental in freeing a lot of people. The Berlin Wall came down. All of these Soviet countries that were under communism, places like Romania and Bulgaria behind the Iron Curtain, all of a sudden they started opening up to us all. And I think Gorbachev was very, very instrumental in all of this. What do you think, guys? What do you think? What do you think? Okay. Andrew Hammond, Putin refused to go to Gorbachev's funeral. Well, I don't think he'd be missed. About Putin, I mean, you know, I wouldn't have expected that. Let's see. Mark Hollick, Putin refused to give Gorbachev a state funeral too. That's not good, is it? That's not good. I like Gorbachev. Don't like the other one. Singapore Dan, he was the man in charge of the USSR when the wall came down and also when the USSR fell. Okay. Nick Ross, Russia has the most beautiful girls in the world. Stalin did us all a favor if you loved her. No, I think we're talking about whether Gorbachev was a good man. Yogi Bear, Gorbachev made the world a far safer place, and now it's being put back to before its time. Yeah, sounds about right, mate. Nick Ross, Gorby was good. Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, we thought Russia, we did think at a time, during the 1980s, we thought it's only a matter of time, you know, Russia's the enemy. You know, we're going to be at war with them. It's going to be Russia. You know, Russia is the enemy, and it's you know, a horrible country which a lot of us simply didn't know very well. But all of a sudden, Gorbachev come along, and he was the man who made us think. Gorbachev made us think there is such a thing as a good Russian. You know what I mean? We wanted to think that Russia was going to change. McLaren F1 race, yes. Bernard Purcell, yes. Mark Oleg, yes. Okay. Eugene Vincent, yes. Michael Janaeus, brilliant man. Checking Wikipedia was in the Communist Party. He was in the Communist Party, but he wanted to reform the communism. Cy London, yes, a good guy. Nick Ross, now Vlad wants the old empire back. Yeah, absolutely. Gary Hughes, yes, Gorby was basically a good one. Okay. Alistair Taylor, yeah, he must have been good with that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, check out Peter Moscow about Gorbachev. I haven't seen that one. Lord of Dreams, Gorbachev wanted changes. I think he wanted, I think he wanted peace, didn't he? I don't think he wanted Russia to be hostile anymore to the West. I genuinely believe he wanted us to be friends with Russia. He wanted Russia to be friends with the West. And it was different. He was so different than the Russian leaders that have come before him or probably after him. Andrew Hammond, Gorby was a good guy, created independence for many countries. Of course, I mean, we wouldn't have thought then, of visiting Romania and Ukraine and where else, Bulgaria and places like, and the Czech Republic, of course. Absolutely, yeah. He was instrumental in a lot of changes. Let's see. Things. Gorbachev landed in Sharon Airport with a high-end meet, but they wouldn't let him off the plane because really. Nick Ross, remember the Russian economy was on its knees down to the West. Okay. Neil, Gorbachev said the EU is the old Soviet Union dressed in Western clothes. I never heard that phrase, but it's a very good one. Well worth remembering. Sean Harris, a good man. Paul Hoskin, Gorbachev and Reagan. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a comedy duo, doesn't it? Martin Ryder, remember the spitting image puppet, birthmark in the shape of a hammer? I remember that well. I mean, this spitting image was wonderful in the 1980s. Very, very satirical puppet show. It's still around now, but I don't think it's as much fun now as it used to be. I haven't watched it recently. I used to watch Spitting Image in 1980. Yeah, I remember his birthmark in the hammer and sickle. Funny. And Reagan referring to him as Gorby, Reagan's puppet. Let's see. Gemini Star, Gorbachev, at least he wanted to change for the good. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I thought he was good. I was a bit suspicious when, I seen I didn't know this until the other day when I heard on the news, like, Thatcher and Thatcher, and other British people thought, Gorbachev, he's approachable. He was approachable in the way other Russian leaders weren't. And apparently they were won over when they learned that his wife, Gorbachev's wife, shopped at Harrods. Yeah. Now, when I heard this on the news before, I thought they were going to say they were won over when they learned that his wife shopped at Tesco's or Asda. I mean, when I heard his wife shopped at Harrods, I was a little bit suspicious, because, I mean, she obviously liked a bit of luxury, and that's always suspicious. But never mind. Kippo Macbeth, communism has failed. That's why he was so nice. Communism has failed. That's why he was so nice. Socialism has failed every time and everywhere it has been tried. Martin Ryder, at least Pitaya won't be full of whatever. I wouldn't count on that, mate. Kippo Macbeth, communism has failed. That's why he was so nice. I think we just had that one, haven't we? Yeah, we've had that one. Martin Bertel, I'm not gonna put that comment on the screen. I'm not gonna put that comment on. Kind of fun, mate. Gorbachev would have been a great fellow monk and saying, but I wouldn't have said that. No, he was a likable guy. Capo 17, Gorby knew he would not win the Star Wars race in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, obviously, because America was outspending, weren't they? I mean, Reagan liked to boast about these Star Wars, military missiles and all this. Didn't he get into trouble with George Lucas company? Didn't someone in the George Lucas company say, "Hang on a minute, you're nicking our name without our permission"? Star Wars. I'm sure it'd be called something like that. Sean Harris, have you seen the movie Death of Stalin? Well, I haven't seen it. Sounds like a bundle of laughs. That one. I've got to be in the right mood for that one, please. Bottle Baby. I agree with. Gorby didn't have smarts. Instead, he destroyed himself until he said, whatever. Okay, we're all entitled. Eugene Vincent, they even had a Gorby lookalike at the end of Rocky IV, clapping for Balboa. I've seen that movie. I don't remember that bit, but it wouldn't surprise me. Well, didn't no, I think it came before Gorby, didn't it? In the James Bond movies, they had a Russian president. Didn't he have a Russian president who always looked a bit like Gorby? But I think that actually came before him. Mark Oleg, Gorby was the last president of the Soviet Union. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he was a good man. David R. Nice to hear from you, David. David was on the show on the other channel. As you will know. Let's see. BB, not liked in his own country, sadly, but a good egg. I liked him. Sean Griffiths, Gorby has done good to the world compared with the asset now. Okay. Gemini Star, Gorbachev was better than Ronald Reagan. You're not a Russian by any chance, are you, Gemini Star? better than. I like Reagan. He was good fun. He was held, and I don't like to criticize American president, but he was held in. I don't know. He was looked at in a fun way in the 1980s, but he's held in esteem, really, isn't he, Reagan? But I remember some of the jokes about Reagan being so old. I remember one comedian said, Ronald Reagan's so old, how come his hair isn't grey? Well, his hair is the colour that hair goes after it's been grey. Okay, whatever. Gemini Star, Ronald Reagan suffered Alzheimer's all of his leadership. Well, he was very old, but am I right in thinking that Joe Biden is older than Reagan was? Let's see now. Nick Ross. How many Russians still trapped in Cambodia and Vietnam? No, interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the consensus is that Mikhail Gorbachev was a good man. He was a good man. Okay, he was good. I liked him. He probably wasn't perfect, and I'm most suspicious to find that his wife shopped at Harrods. But I do think he was instrumental in freeing a lot of people. You know, like that song by Marvin Gaye. He freed a lot of people. Yeah, you know, but great stuff. He was a good man. I like Gorbachev because before that, he put an end to. He made the world seem like a safer place because before Gorbachev came along, we just thought it's only a matter of time before we're all going to go kaboom. Yeah, you know what I mean. So Gorbachev was a good man. He was a good guy. Okay, so. David R says now they have the anti-Gorbachev now. Yeah, sounds about right, mate. Martin Ryder, Death of Star. Oh, it's a black comedy. Best black comedy out there for years. Well, I've never heard of that before. Sounds good anyway. Let's see. Ian Bowden, nice to hear from you, Ian. My mum liked Gorby in the 1980s, so he must have been a good guy. Oh, well, okay. Capo 17, Reagan was off the part in Casablanca. Humpty Go-Kart moved in. What good movies was Ronald Reagan in? I mean, he was in one with a monkey, wasn't he? I mean, Humphrey Bogart was in lots of great movies. Let me see. Okay, Okay, so there you go. The consensus is that Gorby is a good man, was a good man. He died the other day at 91 years old, and he will be missed. He was a good guy. We like Gorby. Okay, we like Gorby. So let's see. Any more comments? Let's see. Neil Reagan, King of the B movies. I do recall Marlon Brando. Once who had a lot of political viewpoints. Marlon Brando in the 1970s. I seen an interview and somebody said, you know, you have these strong political views. Why haven't you gone into politics, Marlon? And Marlon said, "What? Who's gone into politics? Ronald Reagan, a finished actor." You know, it's just, but Marlon Brando spoke his mind. God bless him. Let's see, Eastern man, Russian women are like those Russian dolls, full of themselves. Okay, some of those ones in some of those Russians that you come across in the sides, they look like, oh, you know, they cut your bloody throat. They will. No, don't like them. Don't like the ones that I've seen in Pattaya. Not for me, mate. Not for me. Let's see, Singapore Dan, he was a good communist. You don't get to the top without being a little bit ruthless in that system. Good comment, mate. Good comment. Who's this? Hey, do you have a favourite soapy girl in Eastern Mississippi? I had the best soapy girl ever a few years back. Mark, I love Brando of Capsa. Even now, I mean, I've seen the occasional interview with him. I think you can get it on there. What's his name? Those old 70s interviews. Wonderful stuff. Sean Harris, Reagan played General Custer in Santa Fe Trail with Errol Flynn. Did he? I didn't see that. I didn't see that many of Reagan's films. I've seen quite a few Errol Flynn's movies. Of course, me and Errol Flynn, you know, have been compared to quite a lot over the years. Not because of the acting or the looks. John Mitch, nice to hear from you, John Mitch. Reagan, Thatcher, and Gorbachev will be sitting together in the afterlife. What do you think they will be chatting about? Oh, Reagan, Thatcher, and Gorbachev will be sitting together in the afterlife. What do you think they'll be chatting about? I think Thatcher will be sitting on her own, and Reagan and Gorbachev will be whispering to each other, "That bloody woman, That's what it'll probably be like. Mark Allen, my favourite is Ivory Soapy. Some lovely soapy girls, lovely soapy girls. Oh, I could do the bloody good soapy. Eugene Vincent, Cavett interview, Brian. Good interview. That's the one where he sent the Native American girl up to collect his Oscar. Very, very good. Martin Ryder, I hate those Russian men sitting on the beach in Pattaya wearing their G-strings and leather skin chains. I kind of wish that I hadn't put that comment up there. Mark Allen, Cavett interview, Mae West too. Oh, I'd like to have seen that. I haven't seen that one, but I'd like to have seen that one. That would have been wonderful. That would have been wonderful. Okay, we're going to do something else now anyway. Something else, okay. So I've got a couple of film reviews to cover, a couple of movies that I've watched. And I went through a phase for a couple of weeks where I just seen some crap movies on either Netflix or Amazon, but I've seen a couple of good movies the last couple of nights. Really well worth a mention. But in the meantime, here's a question for you. Here's a question, okay? Here's a question. I've only got one picture for this to go with this question, really. It's this picture here. There you go. There is the legendary Eric Clapton. Okay. And I put him up there for a reason, okay? Because my question is, let's see. My question is, who is the most overrated rock star band of all time? Okay, who's the most overrated rock star or band of all time? Okay, McLaren, yeah. Martin Ryder says Eric Legend. Okay, Singapore Dan says Eric who. Martin Ryder, Sunshine of Your Life, best track. Bottle Baby, Asleep at the Guitar. Sean Harris, Eric Clapton is overrated. Damn bloody right. I love all the old classic rock. I can't see why he's so highly rated. I just can't see why he's so highly rated. Danish Bacon, okay, whatever. Nice to hear from you. Mark Allen, The Clap. Do you mean Clapton, or are you talking about the Clash, perhaps, or whatever? Let's see. Bottle Baby says the Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols, yet they are overrated. I mean, the Sex Pistols were more about the band and the outrage and all of this kind of stuff. Really, in terms of musical achievement, the Sex Pistols weren't really that good. Steve Jones is a great guitarist. And the rest of the band, Johnny Rotten, were great, and they put together, but they didn't really make that many great records. The Sex Pistols, not really. They didn't really make that many good records. Sean Harris, Genesis, Phil Collins. Well, I love the early Genesis with Peter Gabriel and other lineup. It would involve in a band then. But the Phil Collins Genesis, yeah, overrated. But the original Genesis were wonderful. Ian Bowden, who was your favourite rock guitarist of all time, Eddie? Well, I think most people will say that Gilmour out of the Pink Floyd is a wonderful guitarist, and can't really go beyond him, to be honest with you. Let's see. Clive says The Darkness. Well, The Darkness, didn't they only make one popular song? I'm sure they did. Michael Gianais, yeah, I don't get him. Hopeless, yeah, absolutely. I don't know why he's so. Some people refer to him as God. He's God of the the guitar. I mean, I've known some guitarists, some professional guitarists, and they worship Eric Clapton. They say he's the most. He has the most finesse of all the guitarists out there. Yeah, but can he really make that many great songs? I haven't heard that many great songs from him. Not really. Not really. Mark Ollie, U2. You say U2 is the most. U2 were. I like U2. I like U2. I mean, massively successful. Massively successful. Great band. Not to everybody's taste. And Bono can be bloody annoying at it. A really great singer, great band, but Bono can be a bit annoying, whether he's on stage or off stage. But U2, okay. Since Meatloaf, I think Meatloaf, and he's dead now, God bless him. Meatloaf would have admitted that with Bat Out of Hell, there's as many people who hate that album as who love that album. I mean, Meatloaf, I thought he was an amazing singer, amazing, but you're entitled to your opinion. Eastern Man, Eric Clapton is just boring. And to be honest with you, Eastern Man, I agree. I think the word boring sums up Eric Clapton. Absolutely, absolutely. Andrew Hammond, status quo, overrated. Some, status quo. Geez, it was the same riff, wasn't it, all the time? The same guitar chords all the time. I think they're another one who either loved them or hate them. But the people, what I tend to find that what was unusual when Status Quo were having hit records, all the people that I knew who liked Status Quo were not young and trendy people. They were more like middle-aged people who liked them. So Status Quo. Danish Bacon, overrated band Queen. Random, no, I love Queen. No, I love Queen. Love Queen. Wonderful, wonderful. Gemini Star, Eric Clapton, net worth 388 million. Yeah, that's probably why he's out here, because he's probably worth that much in terms of money, but whatever. Yogi Bear, the Native American girl, talking about Marlon now, didn't pick his Oscar up and he never collected it. Native Americans have just had a sorry from the Oscars for the booing that happened on that night. We're talking about the Brando Dick Cavett, the Brando Dick Cavett interview. David R. Bruce Springsteen. Oh, well, Springsteen. I mean, Springsteen was wonderful. I mean, Springsteen's the complete. Sometimes on some songs his voice is good, and sometimes his voice isn't good. But Springsteen is very much the whole package, and it's a matter of opinion if you feel that way. So I think Springsteen's done some great songs. Boo-hoo, the Beatles. No, I don't think the Beatles are overrated. They're still the most for the 8 years they were together in the charts. They're the most successful rock band of all time. They influenced so many others, and they've sold billions of records. And I don't think they were overrated. I think they were wonderful. Let's see. Tampa guy, Eric Clapton is, yeah. Capo 17. Clapton, good musician, but no charisma on stage. Who likes Eric Clapton in this day and age? Is it people? I always get the feeling in this day and age that Eric Clapton is appreciated by rock fans who like to think that they're better, more refined than the average rock fans. I can imagine Eric Clapton fans probably wear suits and ties and whatever. Not for me, mate. Michael Gerace, Motorhead, fantastic. Yeah, good band. Pele, Sex Pistols were totally underrated. Fantastic, groundbreaking. I think the best thing about the Sex Pistols was probably Steve Jones. It was a very, very, very good guitarist. They were a good band. And they just stuck together for a long time. They might have gone on to do some really great stuff, but they didn't really make that many great records. The famous "God Save the Queen." That's not really a great record. It's outrageous, but it's not really a great record. Anarchy in the UK was all right. Mark Oleg, Aerosmith. I must confess, I like a lot of Aerosmith's later stuff. I was never a fan of those early, but some of the later music that they made, where they did do some good songs later, but I quite kind of like it, Aerosmith. Let's see, Neil, most underrated icicle works from Liverpool. I've heard them, I can't actually can't actually think of a song. Michael Todea's The Beatles, way overrated. Okay. Issa Man, Beach Boys are overrated. Nothing but a barbershop quartet, really. No, I think they would have been. I mean, they later, they did Pet Sounds and they did some wonderful songs later. And Brian Wilson was a great songwriter. No, I think they doing a bit more than that. Yeah, we have different opinions. Andrew Hammond says the Danish Bacon Queen were the best rock band ever. Okay. David Martin, Blackmore did say he would have been playing in orchestras if not for Hendrix and Clapton. I had an interview with Richie Blackmore. It was kind of an mean and moody and enigmatic kind of guitarist with Deep Purple, and he was asked once how would he rate himself as a guitarist, and he said that he was the best guitarist in the whole of the rock music industry, and after so many years, he bloody well should be. Very, very arrogant man. Brilliant guitarist, Richie Blackmore. Absolutely amazing. Mark Hollick, Brian Wilson was a genius writer. Absolutely, I agree with you there. Wayne M, Wayne M, the Monkees were such a manufactured band. They weren't a real band. They were such a manufactured, weren't they? McLaren, I can remember that Clapton with the music on the Ford RS advert. It was they had later Derek and the Dominoes, didn't they? On one of the Vauxhall ads. Pele, Johnny Rotten for PM, quite similar to Farage, but more intelligent. Farage, but more intelligent. I mean, Johnny Rotten is probably a very, very intelligent person. He was on Question Time once, and who would have thought the Sex Pistol would appear on Question Time and all that? But the thing about he's very outspoken and he's obviously very, very intelligent. But I do recall, I mean, that what Andrew Neil said about Johnny Rotten on Question Time. He said to him, I think he'd rather come across as a bit of a barroom bore. And he did. I mean, sometimes Rotten does come across, he's when you see him on interviews, he's very, very interested and he knows a lot of stuff. But he just come across, come on, get on with it, mates. Just get to the bloody point, you know. Sean Harris, level 42. I remember level 42 in the 80s. A lot of people liked them. I thought they were crap, basically. Neil says Radiohead. Radiohead. I love Radiohead. I think they were a really great band. I mean, you're saying that they're overrated. They were rated very high. OK Computer. A lot of people praised them. I mean, but I don't think I could listen to album after album of Radiohead. I think it would sort of get me down. I mean, imagine if Radiohead did, Christmas songs. I mean, what would Radiohead's Christmas songs sound like? Radio, the red-nosed reindeer, Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh my God, I think that's Radiohead's Christmas album, that is, I don't think we can listen to too much of that. Yeah, let's see. Mark Alex, so are the Stones. The Rolling Stones did so many great records. I think when you've got a history of bands like the Beatles and the Stones, it's like the history of classic movies. It's okay to say overrated, but they broke a lot of ground for a lot of bands. They did. They really, really do. Really, really did. I mean, would the music industry be the same without the Beatles or the Stones? The Rolling Stones or the Beatles would be the first to admit they wouldn't have been the same if it hadn't been for Elvis. Let's see. Category Coffee, Coldplay. I must admit, I do kind of like Coldplay. Martin Ryder, Slade, get a nervous twitch when I hear Merry Christmas. Oh, God almighty. You'll be hearing that. It just never goes away, does it? Okay. Let's see. Let me just see. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me just say thank you to that super. Michael Gianais, thank you for that super chat, Michael Gianais, £10. I really, really do appreciate that. Cheers, mate, anyway. And somebody else who I will come to in a moment. I will come to you in a moment. Yes, Jeff say a little something for the beverage fund. Okay, thank you for that, mate, anyway. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Okay. Cheers. Okay, so what have we got now? Let's just go by SK4 travels for a Kiss. I know what Kiss look like. I haven't heard too much of their music. Martin Ryder, the Eagles overrated. Touch Hotel California on the radio 8 times. I think that's another subject. The Eagles are a brilliantly talented band. Wonderful amount of talent in that group. But Hotel California is probably the most classic example of a truly, truly, truly great song that has been ruined because it's been so overplayed. I mean, that really is whether you're watching a live band or in a bar or whatever. When as soon as you hear the opening bars of Hotel California, I think, oh Christ, not this again, not this again. Nick Ross says Hendrix was overrated. No, I don't. No, not having that. Hendrix was wonderful, wonderful. Dire Straits, overrated. Dire Straits, were they really a band? Because Knopfler seems to do just about everything. But wonderful. Well, I must admit, I do like Dire Straits. Cats and Good Coffee, overrated. The Killers and Cold. Okay, fair enough. Eugene Vincent, didn't Clapton play on While My Guitar Gently Weeps? I mean, George Harrison's contributions to the Beatles. I hear that he did. I believe he did. But was that really, really, really a great song? I mean, that wasn't a very tuneful song. Not really. I thought it was really a bland song. Definitely not one of the Beatles. Definitely not one of the Beatles' best. Daniel Mills, Sid Vicious. Man, I did it, man. Oh, that was brilliant version. Mark Alex, Spice Girls. Spice Girls, they were massively successful, but they did actually do a couple of good tunes, but didn't they look rough? Oh, they look so rough, didn't they? Look so, I didn't fancy them. Not very feminine. Let's see. Who's this? Ian Bowden. Eddie Barber's telling me how much you like Clapton. I liked Cocaine, I must admit. See that song, by Clapton that you just mentioned. That was an all right song. It was kind of bland. Yeah, a lot of Clapton. I'd fall asleep to a lot of Clapton stuff, personally. Neil said Bonnie Tyler, but she was a surprise choice for Jim Steinman. But I had an amazing partnership with Jim Steinman and done some great songs with him. And Jim Steinman, who obviously wrote Meatloaf songs. Jim Steinman said that Bonnie was the greatest female singer in the world, and that's good enough for me. Sean Harris, good documentary movie about the Pistols called The Filth and the Fury. I haven't seen that documentary, and I probably won't watch it simply because this is the problem I have with the Sex Pistols. Their persona and all the controversy about them was a lot more interesting than the songs that they done. But don't forget, I remember the Sex Pistols from like 1976. That's a long, long time ago. And all the documentaries and stuff, I've heard it all before. Really heard it all before. Daniel Mills, God Only Knows the Beach Boys, awesome song. Okay, thank you. Midnight Cruiser, Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan are better than Clapton. Gemini Star, Thin Lizzy. I must admit, I liked a lot of Thin Lizzy's stuff. Not all of it, but I did like Thin Lizzy. I thought they were pretty good. He was another one who came to a very, very sad ending, didn't he? There you go. BB, Bon Jovi. I liked a lot of Bon Jovi stuff. I liked a lot of Bon Jovi stuff, except for the really soppy, sentimental stuff. You know, what was that song they brought out? Oh, I will love you. It sounded like he had a bloody dumbbell hanging from his bell end. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bottle Baby, was it Ringo Starr and Clapton who co-hab in the early 70s? I think you'd have to be a real rock music nerd to know about that one. Michael Gineas, thank you for that super chat. Anyway, cheers for that, mate. Appreciate that. Martin Ryder, got to go and drive to Southampton. Wife finishing their cruise at 6 a.m. Oh, go for it. It'll fun. Bring it on here so you can tell us all about it. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to go on a cruise. I really, really would. Mark Olive, now I heard this. Paul McCartney said the best song he ever heard was God Only Knows, written by Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I heard that. I heard that as well. That was a great song. And wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, Brian Wilson, brilliant. David Martin, sensational Alex Harvey band, great live. I've seen them on the old Grey Whistle test, their cover version of Delilah. Oh, brilliant. So funny. Okay, so Michael Gireas, great night. Thanks, mate. Okay, cheers, Michael. Mark Hollick, hey, the Monkees up with Jimi Hendrix in 1967. That must have been a glorious time. Must have been a glorious time. Okay, who's that there? Yogi Bear, Mark Knopfler is one of the best guitarists you will ever see. If you ever get the chance to see him, absolutely, absolutely. I think some guitarists who have been around since the 60s or 70s, don't forget Mark Knopfler made his name in the late 70s. But I think some of the older guitarists were really quite in awe of him. You know, superb, absolutely superb. Gemini Star, who remembers UB40? Do you know something? UB40 were a band from, I think they were from Birmingham, they were from Midland, somewhere like that. And there were a bunch of, you know, they done reggae. They started doing protest songs, and then they done cover versions of Neil Diamond and this sort of stuff. And they were hugely popular. UB40 were hugely popular. They had a lot of hit records, and they got the name UB40 because they were all unemployed. That was the name of a dole card in those days. So full credit to them. But I must admit, UB40, they used to get massive airplay in the 1980s. They were always on the radio. And I must admit, I found that band to be really quite boring. Whenever a UB40 song came on, I would get up and switch the bloody radio over. I couldn't listen to them. Kippo Macmac, I've met John Lydon, Johnny Rotten. Top fella and a huge Trump supporter. Okay, fair enough. Travis Davola, The Knack, and My Sharona. That was another. Did they ever make two famous songs? Or they, I mean, you know, they probably did, but that was another song. It wasn't such a bad song, but that got massive. Every bloody time you switch the radio on, you heard it. Michael Gineas, really can't stand you too. Okay, fine. Thank you. You're entitled to your opinion. Mark Hollick, My Bologna, yeah, absolutely. Yours Travels, Imagine Dragons are probably the best rock group in the world. Seen them in Vegas and Paris. I haven't actually heard of them, but Imagine Dragons. Okay, let's hear something from them. Let's see. Okay. Mark Holland, music in the 60s was groundbreaking. Of course it was. I mean, so much was done, wasn't it, in the 60s? From you know, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper to the Pink Floyd albums and the Beatles and the Stones and everything. Wonderful, amazing. Absolutely, I'd love to have been a part of that generation. I really, really would. I liked all the all the hippie stuff in the late in the late 70s, the protest songs, the Californian stuff, the Mamas and the Papas and all of that. And what's his name? Scott McKenzie. If you're going to San Francisco, I still do a karaoke to that as well. Absolutely. Wildcat. I know now he can afford his travels, Eddie. You and Frankie goes to Hollywood. It all makes sense. Now, they were another manufacturer. Did some brilliant songs for about a year, and then he kind of disappeared, didn't he? But they were apparently. I heard that that their instruments were actually played not by them but by another band. So I think it was it. I mean, Trevor Horn, the producer, was involved in it. It's all sorts of manufactured stuff, wasn't it? Okay, where do we go now? Okay, so I'm going to skip through this now. I'm going to skip through this. Ian Bowden, no one has mentioned AC/DC because they were, of course they were, but I hated them in the 80s and 90s. Love them now. AC/DC have sold more albums in America than U2 or even the Rolling Stones. AC/DC are huge, and whenever you go to places like Pattaya, you always hear their songs being played. Wonderful stuff. No, I'm not going to sing Highway to Hell. Let me see. Lee James, the Bee Gees. Right, the Bee Gees. One thing about they did some great songs. One thing about the Bee Gees, whether you like them or not, the Bee Gees, they were the real deal. They wrote, produced all their own songs, and they wrote songs for the people. So they were very, very talented. But I think one of their best moments is when they walked off that chat show with that smarmy little snake, Clive Anderson. And he tried to put them, he was a little snake, he was. He tried to put them down by calling them tossers. And they got up and walked out. You can still get on YouTube the Bee Gees walking off on Clive Anderson. Good for them. Good for them. Mark Hollick says the Brothers Gibb were overrated. Some people would say they were. Some people would say they were. But like I say, I think BB, didn't Mark Knopfler and his brother hate each other? Well, they wouldn't be the first brothers in a band to have a fallout. Let's see. Okay, so what is it? Paul Hoskin, have you ever done karaoke in Pattaya? Yeah, I've done karaoke. I've done it in a few places. That little place down Soy Diana, I've done a karaoke there. No one could understand what I was singing, but at least my rendition of Ernie the Fastest Milkman in the West, doesn't always go down with some cultures. Cats and Good Coffee. I never understood the Doors. The Doors were very, very advanced. The Doors were wonderful, very ahead of the times. Michael Janaeus, nobody mentioned Cat Stevens. He's now becoming Yusuf Islam or whatever, he's changed or whatever. But Cat Stevens did some bloody good songs. He did see some good songs. Matthew and Son and all that kind of stuff. Gemini still Bob Gelder, Boomtown. I don't like Monday. I mean, the thing about the Boomtown Rats, I mean, they were a sort of a third-rate punk rock group, weren't they? And then they had a couple of rather good hit songs, and then it kind of went to the head because they had a mouthpiece singer, self-publicist. People believe that the Boomtown Rats were going to be the big super-duper rock band of the 1980s. They were overtaken by U2, the Police, and all kinds of other bands. They just faded away, didn't they? Mark Ollig, I can't stand Diana Ross. I love Motown. I must admit, I do love Motown. Nick Ross, Procol Harum. Procol Harum, White as Shade of Pale was one of the greatest songs of all time. It was a one-hit wonder, but they were a one-hit one, but it was a good hit. The Animals, another one. No, they did do a couple other hits as well. The Animals were awesome, absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna Lewis C. Coldplay are overrated. Ian Baum, Bryan Adams are a bit overrated. He's too easy. I'm the worst bloody thing. That nauseating, soppy, tugs at your heartstrings song. Everything I do. It had all the bloody cliches and more of every song you've ever. Oh, and it was number one for about 3 years, wasn't it? Oh my God. Okay, so what I'm going to do now? Let's see. Mark Ollick, you see my comment on the play. The previous comment was the Bee Gees. I just stayed today with the Brothers Gift. I like them. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the brother. I liked it. I know someone said the Bee Gees were overrated. I liked. Well, I must admit, I like a lot of the Bee Gees stuff, all the disco stuff, and even the 60s stuff. Here I'm going back to Massachusetts, and the lights all went down in Massachusetts. Eddie, I'm on one now. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Lee James Liberati, isn't he the one who died of food poisoning? I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. That's not a bad little old question there. Not a bad little old question. Okay. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to play out now, being on for 1 hour 49 minutes. I'm going to play out with all of this. So that was I still think that, in terms of being the most overrated, simply because he's so highly rated, I still think that old boring ass is the number one in terms of being overrated. Okay, I'm going to play out right now with a couple of movies. First of all, let's put a little bit of the speckled in. I'm really pleased with you guys coming along tonight, because on this channel, Monday and Tuesdays, 10 o'clock UK time, we do the big question. We've had a couple of biggest questions tonight. We do the big question on Monday and Tuesday, and it's going down very well. We get a really good response. This is Saturday night. There's probably other things going on, but I'm still pleased for everyone to come along anyway. So let me see now. Let me see. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I've got to do this. Lee James, Eddie, give us Bernie Winters. Okay, I've got to do this. The worst catchphrase of all time. 1970s crap comedy duo, Mike and Bernie Winters. And Bernie's catchphrase was, are you ready for this? No, that's not his catchphrase. His catchphrase was, my God, what a bloody gormless, nonsensical catchphrase I've ever heard of. Okay, there you go, McLaren F1 race, Stephen. Okay, there you go. Okay, we've done all of those. Right, so I'm going to finish this one off with a couple of movie reviews. Right, now the reason to movie reviews is because if, like me, very, very late at night, you are scanning Netflix or Amazon for something to watch, something to watch. Sometimes it can take you half an hour to decide what you're going to watch, and there's nothing worse than getting halfway through a movie and thinking, I don't like this. I regret watching this. So I'm going to recommend a couple of movies. These are really, really good adult violent thrillers. Okay, here we go. A couple of violent, and the first one I'm going to recommend, I watched it the other night on Netflix. It's been out for a bit, 2008, but if you've never seen it, it's worth seeing. It's a movie called Body of Lies. Who has seen this movie? It's got Leonardo. I almost said Leonardo da Vinci then. Leonardo DiCaprio as the star. And basically, what this movie is around is basically it's set in the Middle East. Amid the Iraq conflict, and basically Leonardo da Vinci Leonardo DiCaprio, not Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo DiCaprio plays a CIA operative who's out there fighting the Taliban and other terrorist organizations. It's a Ridley Scott movie. As you may know, Ridley Scott is a superb film director, very very talented, film director. But his movies, sometimes it can be a little bit. Something missing from it. But this is a fine movie. It's called Body of Lies, and basically, these Muslims, these terrorists, are planning attacks on Europe. And hey, Leonardo DiCaprio is trying to find the terrorist leader. So I'll just give you an idea of what it's all about. A little blurb. Get that off my bloody screen. Get that off my screen, okay? Okay, so the movie blurb is CIA agent Roger Ferris, Leonardo DiCaprio, hatches a bold but dangerous plan to capture terrorist Al-Salim. With the help of Ed Hoffman, which is Russell Crowe, who was a master of subterfuge, Ferris creates a fake terrorist organization to prompt Al-Salim out of hiding. At the same time, Ferris must keep his plan secret from Hani Mark Strong, the head of Jordanian intelligence, because Ferris will lose his own life if Hani finds out. Okay, so basically, that is what the movie is all about. It also features a very good performance from Russell Crowe. It looks overweight, and he looks probably older than you're used to seeing him in those movies. But they both, DiCaprio and Russell Crowe, play very very good parts. The problem I have with Leonardo DiCaprio is that in those days he looked rather too young, and basically he looks too boyish to be a superhero. It was not a superhero, but a hard James Bond sort of figure. Because I was thinking to myself, when he starts bossing other people around, I tend to think, you look like a young boy. But he is a good actor. He's a fine actor, and this was a few years ago. Andrew Hammond, Body of Lies, great movie. DiCaprio was brilliant, absolutely. Sean Harris, DiCaprio was one of the best contemporary movie actors today, along with Brad Pitt. Okay. Let me see. Lee James, DiCaprio. Let's see. Mark Holly's best role was Vincent Price, Edward Scissorhands. I think I remember that. Oh, Mark Hollis. Yeah. I think it was Johnny Depp. That wasn't it. That one. McLaren, Leonardo decapitated. Okay. Yogi Bear, Leonardo was great in Revenant. I haven't seen that one. It looks a bit, dull. Yours Travels, isn't that Australian actor? Yeah, that's Russell Crowe. He plays a really, really good part in it. Mark Olga, I never cared for decapicated. It takes a bit of getting used to it. Who's this? Jock Martins. Russell has passed his sell-by date. You know yourself. He played a good part, very, very late. Now, the problem with this film that I had, and obviously I won't tell you what happened. It's an action movie. It's an action thriller set in the Middle East. And it is a fine movie. Ridley Scott is a great film director. What I tend to find with Ridley Scott movies, sometimes there's something a teensy bit missing from it. He's very good with all the technical stuff, but when it comes to telling a story and involving involving you with the characters, the problem with in a movie like this, a lot of the characters, are not necessarily likable the way they should be, but I'm only carpet. I mean, it's a fine movie. Body of Lies, this movie is called. It's on Netflix. For 2 hours, it's very, very entertaining. It's a very, very adult and very non-patronizing movie, and it's well worth a look. So go check it out. Cats and Good Coffee. The Wolf of Wall Street was his peak performance. That was a superb movie from Martin Scorsese. Absolutely. Matthew Cartwright, Blood Diamond was good too. Blood Diamond. I've seen that a couple of times, and also bloody good movie. Let me see. Let me see. Who's this? Wayne Emma prefer letters Rossiter. Mark Oleg. I just never cared for him. I mean, when I first seen Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, I thought he looks like I like the older style actors. He looked like men. He looked like a young boy. But you do get used to him after a while. Okay, so another movie I'm going to recommend, and it's also 2 hours that are well worth your time. It's a brand new 2022 movie, brand new, up to date. You can get it on Amazon, and it is called Memory. It features the superb Liam Neeson, who really is getting on a bit now, but he is a fine actor. Now the thing about this actor, he's a natural big tough guy actor. He's been around for years, a long time. It seems to me that in his later years, the last 12 years maybe, that's where he must have, he must have a good agent, because all of a sudden, he was he was getting on a bit, but then he was in the Taken movies, and all three of those Taken movies, the first, the second, and the third, they're all well worth looking out for. And of course, he plays a great part in them. But since the Taken movies, he's also been in a lot of really good, and he's always a reliable movie. He's actor. He's always watchable. And this film here, Liam Neeson in Memory. Liam Neeson. I'll just tell you what it's all about. I'll tell you what it's all about. You can get this movie on Amazon, and basically, it's another violent thriller. Memory follows Alex Lewis, Liam Neeson, an expert assassin with a reputation for discreet precision. Caught in a moral quagmire, Alex refuses to complete a job that violates his code and must quickly hunt down and kill the people who hired him before they, an FBI agent, Vincent Serra, Guy Pearce, find him first. Alex is built for revenge, but with a memory that is beginning to falter, he is forced to question his every action, blurring the line between right and wrong. So he suffers from Alzheimer's disease in this movie, which is very strange. Basically, what it is, he is a hired assassin who obviously has problems, his memory problems is fading. But he basically plays an anti-hero. He plays an anti-hero in the movie. But he's an assassin, but he's kind of an assassin with a heart. He's a villain with a heart. But he is being hunted down in this movie by, let me see if I can get a picture of him here. Let me see. He's being by Guy Pearce, who plays the FBI agent, and he plays a superb part in this movie. So Guy Pearce is really the real hero in this movie. He's battling, the drug cartels. Liam Neeson is the anti-hero. He's an assassin on behalf of the cartels, but he's got a heart. He refuses to murder a young child, and that really, turns the cartels against him. Rather the way that Al Pacino did in Scarface. So basically, this movie, Memory, ignore the hostile reviews that you will see on some of the sites. It is a fine movie. Let me just have a see. Look. Let's see. Yourselves, Blood Diamond, amazing. I've seen that twice. Good movie. If you don't rate Lady Clues about it, Blood Diamond is a bloody good movie. David Coleman, not really a fan of any of his movies. Taken was okay. I thought, he looks like he's like a throwback to the real actors, not the pretty boy actors that we see nowadays. Andrew Hammond, I saw The Memory the other night. Good film, yes. Okay. Mark Oleg, Ice Road from 2021. Liam was excellent in it. Ice Road, which one is it? I'll check that one out, because all of his movies, I'll always watch a Liam. He's like a modern day Charles Bronson. He's really good. Cats and Good Coffee, I like The Grey with Liam Neeson. Okay. David Coleman, sorry if I missed you, David. David, nice to have you along. Jock Martin, Liam is from Antrim in Ireland. The big man is his nickname in our party. He's about 6'5", isn't he? I see he was in a film with Clint Eastwood many years ago, and he actually looked bigger than Clint Eastwood. That takes some doing. Lovely stuff. Let's see. Sean has Liam Neeson on Life's Too Short, hilarious. Check out the outtakes on YouTube. Really, really. He's not really one for humor ordinarily. Let's see. David Coleman. Yeah, more good. Not really good movies, just violent fluff. Cats and Good Coffee. You have to watch Nightcrawler 2014. I guarantee you'll do it. Well, thank you for that. Mark Ollig says The Old Man. I haven't heard of that one, but if it's got Liam Neeson in it, it'd be worth seeing. Steph Traveller. Anyone seen Ring of Powers yet? No? Okay. Lee James. Apocalypse Now is a great film. How did we get on that? Liam was in Excalibur. Yeah, he was. He played. Yeah, he did. He was in Excalibur. He played a bit part, and it was also another 1980s movie called. It was the Mel Gibson version of Mutiny on the Bounty, wasn't it? David Coleman, what is the point of these movies? Just guns, bang, bang, American bears. Some people actually like this sort of stuff. You know. Mark, who's this one? Mark Ollig. Is Craig Ferguson known by you? I have seen a bit of him. He's Scottish. He did American Late Night Show years back. He's from Glasgow. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube. I do remember he interviewed Meghan. I think it was him who interviewed Meghan before she became royal. And she had a little red dress on, and she had lovely low-cut dress, and it was lovely, lovely legs. Lovely stuff. Danish Bacon, Ring of Power was filmed in Boys Town. Okay. Let's see. Tin Tinks. Neeson's down to a jamming in real life. Okay, I'd like to think he was, yeah. Stephen Forex, that's a great movie. Gary Stretch and Paddy Considine. Oh, very underrated movie. Never heard of it. Okay, Thailand Bound. Great stream, Eddie. Thanks, you really enjoyed it. I particularly enjoyed comments from some of my viewers. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Thailand Bound. Thank you. Mark Ollie, I watched Ferguson every night. He was pretty good. Yeah, it was very, very good. You know, he's very popular show. I've seen bits of it on, and it's very, very entertaining. And he's a very likable guy. Let's Cats and Coffee. Liam Neeson was in an episode of Miami. Was that the 1980s as well? Really? Let's see. Ian Baum was Guy Pearce in Neighbours. I don't think, but I think Russell Crowe made an appearance in that, didn't he? Let me see. Pooey, Lord Abiding Citizen, Gerard Butler is a fantastic film. Is it? I think I've seen that. I think I have actually seen that. See, the thing is, when I watch a lot of these movies, you know, I forget them, you see, because, you know, we usually have a few beers. But Gerard Butler he's a fine actor, and he looks like a real macho man. The problem I have with Gerard Butler, he's not naturally charismatic in the way some other actors are. Just my opinion. Okay. Barry KFC, did Lisa show up tonight, or is she still in denial about Gambia? Lisa came, she saw, she gave a little bit of abuse, and then she went back to her Gambian boyfriend. Okay. Stephen Forex, check Guy Pearce out on Ravenous, 1999. I'm not really a big fan of Guy Pearce movies. Steph Traveller, I'm camping right now, watching in my tent, having a drink. Oh, that's good for you, mate. Anyway, enjoy yourself. Sean Harris, who would win out of John Wick and the Liam character and taking? Oh, Liam. Liam would make mincemeat out of that other fella. He'd make mincemeat. Okay, so I'm going to end this one now anyway. McLaren, what Guy Pearce was in Navy? Oh, what really was? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. Let me see. Where am I now? Okay, let's get that off the screen. So there you go. Body of Lies, which is seen on Netflix. A movie well worth a look. Memory. Avoid all the hostile reviews that you might get on Red Tomatoes and all of that kind of stuff. Memory is a fine movie. Both Liam Neeson and Guy Pearce play great parts, and it's an exciting thriller. Well worth a look. Okay, so I'm going to end this now. We've been on for 2 hours and 8 minutes. It's late night. I'm going to have a Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle because that's a late night snack. Probably watch another movie. So let me see now. Okay, so I'll say good night, everybody. Just finish on this one. Cats and Good Coffee says, Steady Eddie Lad, what is your experience with Cambodian ladies? Are they very different to Thais? I wouldn't say they're massively different, but Cambodian ladies are wonderful. So I met some lovely, lovely, lovely ladies in Cambodia. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So let's see. Sean Harris, good stream, Ed. Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Bottle Baby, thank you. Yogi Bear, great streamer. Catch you on Monday night at 10 o'clock. Okay, and that's exact. I'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock with the big question. Okay. So listen, guys, thanks to everybody. Have a lovely Sunday, a lovely, peaceful, relaxing day tomorrow. And I'll be back on Monday. Excuse me. I'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. Have a lovely evening. Thanks for coming along. And I'll see you on Monday at 10.